Hello everyone, in this video we'll talk about the alkalinity of water. For more such videos and solved examples, you can sign up on our website APSEd.in. The link is given in the description. So what do we mean by alkalinity of water? So it is defined as the ability of the ions that are present in water to neutralize the hydrogen ions without much change in pH. So we know if we simply add hydrogen ions or if we add an acid in water, then the pH of the water will reduce. But if these certain ions are present in the water, then the pH of the water does not reduce so quickly. That is, we have these ions, basically we have bicarbonate, carbonate, hydroxyl ions. These are the main ions that provide the alkalinity. So if these ions are present in water, then hydrogen ions first will react with these ions. So in this process the pH does not suddenly reduce. So that's how we define the pH, that is, it is the ability of these ions to neutralize the hydrogen ions or to neutralize the acid without much change in the pH. So why is it important to have alkalinity? So if we see the positive side, so let's say if we have a stream and suddenly some acid is added from some industry, some acid is added in this water, then if these ions are not present, then the pH of the water will suddenly reduce, and acidic pH is not safe for the aquatic life. I mean, apart from not suitable for drinking purposes, it is not suitable for aquatic life also. So the fishes and other aquatic organisms that are present can die if these ions are not present. So that way it is beneficial to have some alkalinity in water. So what is the source of these ions? So there can be some minerals that will be coming in the water body. I mean, this water may be in contact with the minerals due to the stones that it is coming in contact with, or the soil also. So the minerals can provide these ions. Other than that, the atmospheric CO2, this CO2 can be dissolved in water, and that way these ions can be present. And other than that, algae, if it is there in water, then it is another source for the alkalinity in water. So apart from these three major sources that give the positive alkalinity, in the total alkalinity calculation we also consider hydrogen ions that provide the negative alkalinity. So all these three ions provide the positive alkalinity and hydrogen ions provide the negative alkalinity. So if we talk about how these reactions take place in water, so let's say if carbon dioxide is there, then it will react with water and it will make carbonic acid or H2CO3, and then this H2CO3 can further break down into hydrogen ions and bicarbonate ions, and then this bicarbonate ions can further break down into hydrogen ions and carbonate ions, and finally these carbonate ions can again react with water to make bicarbonate ions and hydroxide ions. And these reactions, they take place, I mean, if we see from bottom to up, then in this direction the pH decreases. This is the decreasing direction of pH, that is, this bottommost reaction, it takes place only if the pH is above 10. Below 10 this reaction is rare. This reaction mostly takes place above a pH of 10, and by the pH of 4.5, if the pH is reduced to 4.5, then all of this alkalinity converts into this carbonic acid, and none of these forms are available. Bicarbonate, carbonate or hydroxide, all these forms are consumed. So we say that below 4.5 or at 4.5 pH, all of the alkalinity is neutralized if we add the hydrogen ions or if we add some acid in the water. Now for this last reaction, as I said, it takes place only at high pH. It is also influenced by the presence of algae. So if algae is present in water, then it consumes the bicarbonate ions. So at high pH, what happens? This algae consumes all the bicarbonate ions and only hydroxide ions are left. So it is assumed in alkalinity that this bicarbonate and hydroxide alkalinity, they don't exist together. Bicarbonate and hydroxide, or as it is called the caustic alkalinity, don't exist together, because at such high pH, I mean generally in these water bodies algae is present, so it consumes the bicarbonate and only hydroxide ions, or this caustic alkalinity will be present. This is not always true, but based on this assumption we can get some suitable results. So it is assumed in this manner. So what are the problems associated with alkalinity? If the alkalinity is high in the water, then it is not as such harmful for the health, but it makes water bitter. So it affects the taste of water, and for the pipe in which this water will be flowing, or the distribution pipes you can say, if alkalinity is excessive, then it can react with the calcium ions and form the precipitate of calcium carbonate. And because of this precipitate, the problem of incrustation takes place, or we can say a layer inside the pipe forms, due to which the flow area will reduce. So as per IS 10500, the limit of alkalinity in drinking water is 200 milligrams per liter, and if no other source is available, then this limit is increased to 600 milligrams per liter as CaCO3. So alkalinity is expressed as calcium carbonate equivalent. Similar to hardness also, both of these parameters we express as calcium carbonate equivalent. So hardness and alkalinity are also related. So for that uniformity, we express both as calcium carbonate equivalent. So if we talk about the measurement of alkalinity, so alkalinity in the lab, it is measured with the help of an acid, that is 0.02 N H2SO4. So why this particular concentration of this sulfuric acid is used? The reason is that if we take 1 ml of 0.02 N H2SO4, then it neutralizes 1 ml of alkalinity expressed as CaCO3. So the calculations here become very direct. 1 ml is neutralizing 1 milligram, not 1 ml. It is neutralizing 1 milligram of alkalinity as CaCO3. So because of the ease of calculation, here we use this particular concentration of the acid. So if we talk about the reactions that will take place if we add the acid, so initially these hydrogen ions, first they will react with the hydroxyl ions, so it will form H2O. Then further, once this reaction is complete, then it will react with carbonate ions and it will make bicarbonate ions. And further, if hydrogen ions are added, so it will react with the bicarbonate ions and make carbonic acid. So in this process, as we are adding the hydrogen ion, first it will neutralize these ions, the alkalinity causing ions, so some buffer will be there, so pH will not suddenly reduce, but if we keep on adding, then pH will reduce. So in this direction, in this downward direction, the pH reduces. So this will be the final reaction. Here the carbonic acid forms, and below 4.5 pH, as I said, none of the alkalinity is present. Now in the experiment we use two indicators. So if the pH is above 8.3, then the indicator, the color indicator that is used is phenolphthalein red, and for pH below 8.3, the indicator that is used is methyl orange. So it is assumed in the calculation that above 8.3, the alkalinity that is caused is due to hydroxide ion, and half of the alkalinity is caused by the carbonate ions, and this alkalinity is neutralized at a pH of 8.3, and remaining half of these carbonate ions and the bicarbonate ions, all the bicarbonate ions are neutralized at a pH of 4.5. So for this value up to 8.3 we use phenolphthalein red as the indicator, and below this value here methyl orange is used. So we know here that first the carbonate ions are converted into bicarbonate ions, and then finally these bicarbonate ions convert to carbonic acid. So we assume that half of these carbonate ions are neutralized at 8.3 and half are neutralized at 4.5, because first these ions have to convert to the bicarbonate ions. So for that we are assuming that half are happening. So we can see from this diagram also, here the pH is reducing as we are adding the titrant. So at the value of 8.3, the hydroxide ions and half of these carbonate ions, these are neutralized, and at a pH of 4.5 remaining half of carbonate ions and bicarbonate alkalinity is neutralized. Now let's say if we say that ml of titrant it is used at 8.3 is P, and total ml of titrant use is T, then with the help of these P and T values we can make some conclusions. So first of all, if P is equal to T, if this value here is the total amount of titrant that is used in titration for reducing the alkalinity to 4.5, if that is the case, then the alkalinity is caused only due to the hydroxide ions, or it is the caustic alkalinity. If this value P is equal to T by 2, that is it is lying just at the middle, so this is here T by 2 and this is also T by 2, then it means that the alkalinity is caused by carbonate ions, because half of these carbonate ions will be neutralized at this value and remaining half will be neutralized in the next part. Then the third one, if P is less than m by 2, then in that case the alkalinity is there due to carbonate and bicarbonate. And the last one, if the P is, this here is T not m, if P is greater than T by 2, then the alkalinity is due to carbonate and hydroxide ions. So P greater than T by 2 means that this value is lying somewhere here. So in this part we know, in the initial part we have hydroxide ions and carbonate ions, so they are taking most of the space, and in the remaining part, which is less than the other part, the remaining half of the carbonate ions will be neutralized. And if we see the third one, when P is less than T by 2, then in that case most of the titrant is being used for carbonate and bicarbonate ions. So that's why here we are saying that in this third case the alkalinity is due to these two ions. So that's about the alkalinity of water. I hope you found this video useful. Please like, subscribe and share this video with your friends.